Yeah, hello everyone. Today I want to talk about Node.js as a gateway between a backend and React frontend. So I will show you this pattern in two real projects. Uh, the talk is only architecture first, not a tutorial. And at the end, I will show a short live demo of my pet project about trading bot. So this is a situation many teams know well. You have a backend that works, it is stable but old, and business wants a modern dashboard with live updates. So the front-end team chooses React, but the old backend was not built to serve the React application, and rewriting it is too expensive, I guess. There are three reasons we cannot just point React directly at the backend. First reason is aggregation. So one screen often needs data from different services, and doing this in browser is very slow. The second reason is real time. Mostly all old backends, for example, anything based on a request per process model cannot keep WebSocket connection open. This cross-cutting concerns like authentication, rate limits, logs, they need one place to live. And the main answer is to put a small Node.js layer in the middle, and we call this as gateway. So this is a three-layer architecture with clear roles for each layer. On the left is the backend, the system of record. It owns the data and the main business logic. On the right, you can see is the React, the UI in the browser. It only shows data. It has its own local UI state, but no data of its own. In the middle, you can see is the Node.js Gateway. This is the layer that serves the front end. It, for example, can translate some protocols, aggregates calls to multiple services, and it can handle real-time updates on a UI. It has no business logic of its own. It can have it, but mostly this pattern implemented like no business logic in the gateway. So this is called the API gateway pattern. Now I want to show you how this same shape works in two different projects. First project is a real e-commerce admin tool. The backend is like old Magento 2 version. So here Magento owns catalog, customer records, orders, payment, whatever. It runs on a request per process model, so it cannot hold live connections. So, and on the right, you can see there is a React admin UI. It shows custom views, live sync status, and reports across stores, whatever. And in the middle is the Node.js Gateway. It translates authentication from OIDC to GVT. It aggregates calls, normalizes response, and pushes real-time updates to React application. So here, the Node.js layer wraps it and serves the modern UI for React. And the second project is like my personal demo project, if you can say that, but the shape is the same. First, an important note, this is an experimental personal project. It runs only on demo accounts. I'm not talking about trading today. but I want to talk about the architecture of the dashboard and the project. On the left is a Python trading bot. It has a strategy engine, a backstaging runner, and connects to a paper trading exchange. For your information, backstaging, it's like backtesting. Sorry, not backstaging. Backtesting, it's like when you use some old data or exact date in the past, and you like testing your trading strategy, what would be uh, in a different situation. So it's like you can roll back time in a nutshell, and you can test your trading strategy. So on the right is a React dashboard with a live equity chart, open position, and other pages with different information about trading. And in the middle, we can see Node.js as a pure proxy. Here, Node.js Gateway is much thinner. It's a pure proxy. It just forwards REST calls one-to-one, and it fans out the WebSocket from Python to the browser and serves React application. There is no business logic, no database. All business logic and all data saves on a Python side in a Python container. So this is the same pattern as a project A, but in its purest form. Project A grew over time and the gateway became heavier. So project B keeps it minimal, same shape, but it's like different size. It's much smaller. Okay, so that is the architecture. Now I want to talk about why this works, why 3 layers, why Node.js, and why React. Why Node.js specifically? There is 3 reasons. First, Node.js is built for waiting. A gateway spends most of its time waiting for input-output operation, for the database, for an external API, whatever. So Node.js can hold thousands of open connections in a single process without blocking. Older servers that use one worker per connection cannot do this. Second reason is right ecosystem, Express for the web server, Socket.io for real-time, Axios for HTTP calls. Everything Gateway needs is one npm install away. Third main reason, I guess, same language as React. The whole stack uses JavaScript or TypeScript. Engineers move freely between layers. Types and validation can be shared. Tools are the same. And what about React? Also 3 reasons. First, its components. We build the UI from small reusable pieces. Each piece can be tested on its own. UI stays clean as the project grows. Second, hooks for live data. Use state, use effect, and custom hooks make it easy to connect to a Socket.io connections and update the UI when event arrive. Third reason is the ecosystem is huge. White for build, Tailwind for styling, TypeScript for safety, plus mature libraries for charts, tables. So we do not have to build custom tooling. 2 more diagrams to show how the system works in practice, the real-time event flow and the deployment. This is how real-time data flows through the system in a project B. On the left, the Python engine. So when a new bar closes and the new signals is generated from like crypto exchanges, Python sends it as an event. So in the middle, Node.js, it keeps one upstream WebSocket connection to Python. So it forwards every message to all the browser tabs that are open. And there is no business logic here, only like transport logic. On the right, the browser tabs, each tab can show different data, equity, position, signals, backtest, whatever, but they all receive the same events in real time. And important point, Python only needs to send data to one place. Node.js handled the work of forwarding to many tabs. So Python sends a full snapshot every 5 seconds, plus small updates between snapshots. So a new tab opens with a complete picture and reconnects work without extra logic. Here you can see how it works with Docker on a local machine. We have just a Python container and Node.js container with all code. So important detail here, like Node.js only calls Python REST API for data, and that's all. Only the Node.js container is exposed to the host. The user opens URL in the browser, and the Node.js layer is the single entry point. I want to be honest about trade-offs. Every architecture has its own costs. First, the gateway grows over time. Each new feature looks small, but together they can make the gateway too heavy. Like Project A is an example. It started thin and now holds operational state. The way to manage this is to write down what the gateway is allowed to own, like what he needs to do. And the second, do not add a layer if you do not need one. For small crude application with one client and no real time, a direct call is fine. So every extra layer costs time and complexity. Now I want to show you the trading bot dashboard so you can see the architecture in action. But you need to remember that this runs only demo accounts. There is no real money. It's like testing money. So can you see the dashboard?
Yes.
So here is the main page. It's like overview dashboard. Here you can see account balance, realized P&L. As you can see, there is a minus P&L for today. Open position, today's trades, like here you can see just market tabs where you can choose some cryptocurrency that bot need to trade. Here you can see just charts. You can see where the bot open and close position. You can see it, buy it here and sell it here. Like you can switch here different currencies. You can choose different times, like 1 minute graphics. It's like one bar. It's like 1 minute here. Here I choose 5-minute bar. So this one bar, it longs like 5 minutes. Yeah. Here you can see opened positions, P&L, entry point, entry price, quantity, and you can manually close here the position. Here you can see just trade history. Like you see, most of the position is not profitable, so it's dangerous to use in a real account. To be honest, it was made only for some activity in crypto industry. It's called retro jobs, when it's where you when you can make some trading volume to trade some currencies, and you will get some reward by your trade volume. So here just equity curve, how your account changes. Here you can see just like signals. It's signals needs for the bot to understand what what he need to do in a different situation, when he need to open or close the positions, for example. Here you can see configured strategies. There's nothing interesting. This is just bot configuration that we use for today. For example, we can see a starting balance, fee rate, whatever. Backtest, you can run backtest from the UI, so you can configure your trading strategy and like run backtest to test your strategy on a different currencies in a different time. And here is just a settings panel where you can switch between paper mode and the leave mode. Paper mode, it's like test mode. Here we can switch between different exchanges. It's Binance and Hyperliquid. And you can see here just a lot of configuration for your bot. That's all from my side. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for listening. Maybe you have some questions.